Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video, another unit I recently rainbowed out because of the Golden Week banners. So we have a 200% lead, max links, rainbow EZA transform cooler video for you today. I finally have this guy rainbowed, which I mean, he was already good. I think I had him at 90%, so it's not going to be that much of a difference, but he was already very good as it is. And now I've got that little extra to make him a bit better. But there we go. There's a level 10 links, and I'm pretty sure his links don't really change much once he transforms. Yeah, it doesn't change at all. There we go. It's even got some skill equips on him, or skill orbs on him. We're ready to go, and we actually have a pretty good starting rotation. I did bring this guy just to perfectly link with him because the LR doesn't, but, you know, I want to see what he does fully, like, at his best. But realistically, we're going to have him on rotation with the LR. We do have some support from Jace and Better. So turn one, we are with that support and Beverly linked up. We are starting with a 693k attack stat and 279k defense, which is kind of insane when he's going to be stacking the entire time before he transforms. So yeah, those are some very, very good starting numbers. So this is going to get pretty wild. So turn one with the support, we're starting with a 7.33 million attack stat. Damn. And just hit a 6 mil crit. Just off the back, just a 6 mil crit. Honestly, his EZA is so good. It's still so good. Still one of my favorite EZAs in the game. And just one of my favorite teams to run just because of how fun it is and how much damage you can do. Like, it just works so well. Kind of weird not doing a unit that hasn't actually received an EZA yet, but still, it's just his EZA is just still so good. It's still so good. Like, he only gets attack and defense plus 130 at the start of turn. The built-in additional is great. You know, it's only when enemies are in attack down or defense down status. I really wish that wasn't a condition. I wish the built-in additional, that the 30% chance of becoming a super attack, which that also I would have preferred at 50% as well, just to help him stack a bit more defense. But from what I'm seeing now, doesn't really need it. But it would have been nice if it was a 50%. But I do think you didn't need the condition. I think the whole attack down, defense down status, because a lot of the time in difficult content, you can't really do that. Apart from like the first phase maybe. I kind of wish that wasn't there. I really do wish that wasn't there. I wish instead it was just he had a built-in additional with a 30% chance of launching an additional super attack. Or a 30% chance of becoming a super attack. No condition. At least that way he can stack a bit more frequently. Which is kind of like his main thing right now before he transforms. So I really wish that wasn't there. I kind of forgot that was a thing. Because just having the built-in additional the way it is great. Like, yeah, 50% chance would be a lot better, but a 30 with no condition, I would definitely take. With no support, we do have a 626k attack stat at the start of turn. From one stack alone, we're already up to 328k defense. So even without support, it's looking wild. I'm not even going to get Janemba enough key spheres to support him. To see what he does without it. But yeah, I kind of forgot the condition was there, I'm not going to lie. 6.62. Just to think, he transforms, stacks attack, and then has a built-in crit against pure and hybrid Saiyans that does more damage. And he's already doing just under 7 mil, which is wild. Of course, he has a very good support as well, which is transformation boost, category allies get key +2 and a whopping attack and defense plus 50% when facing only one enemy. And of course, he also supports LR Final Form Caller's other 170 lead, or the 170 lead in general, which is Terrifying Conquerors get key +2 and attack and defense plus 50% when facing 2 or more enemies. In terms of his kit, pre-transformation, I don't think they could have got better. I think it's completely fine the way it is. I said my only gripe, my only qualm is having the additional with a condition. You know, LR Final Form Caller has additionals just coming out the wimwam, just coming out the woodwork. No condition needed, you just get them, they're there. But unfortunately, they had to add the attack down or defense down status for him to get the additional super. I really wish that wasn't the case. Like, can you imagine it without it? You know, you have him rainbowed or some dupes in him, you hit a super, the additional kicks off in the passive, and you get an additional super from the dupe system. 3 stacks in one turn, all doing just under 7 million damage. Maybe that's why they gave him the condition because he already does pretty good damage and he's stacking. So I would get that. But I still wish it wasn't there. I still really do wish it wasn't there. But yeah, he's doing incredibly well. I'm going to get him on rotation with an LR Final Form Cooler before I transform him, just to kind of show a bit more of a realistic rotation of what he'll be putting out. Just because, while that tech one, don't get me wrong, he's very good. I like him a lot. You're not obviously going to be bringing him into red zone half the time. So we do end up missing out on Brutal Beatdown, which we only miss out on one link, which is very good. But without a Brutal Beatdown, we do miss out on a big whopping attack plus 15%. So quite a lot to miss out on. He does go all the way down to a 580k attack stat, and we've only stacked like 3 times or so, and he's on just over 400k defense already. So yeah, as I said, maybe him having the condition really doesn't make that much of a difference in terms of having a built-in additional super. But it still would have been nice without it. It still would have been nice without it. Like, it really would have. Can you imagine the lengths you could get to if you didn't? 6.1. I mean, it's no 6.7, 6.8, or just over 7 mil, but it's still pretty good considering, like, him transformed is where he does his most damage. So it's still very good. So it's actually crazy how good he is. When did his EZA come out again? His EZA, to be fair, his EZA literally came out not even a year ago. So yeah, no wonder he's still so good. But still, he's still so good. As I said, he's still probably one of my most favorite EZAs in the game. And one of the most fun to use. On one of the most fun teams to use. Especially with extreme units not getting as much love as super units. I mean, could say a little bit different because of Piccolo Jr. But still. The team, him, LR Final Form Cooler, they're still also very good to use and so much fun. So, you know, I'm completely here for it. I'm completely here for it. But let me get one more rotation with Cooler before he transforms, just to see what he's doing with some support and on a bit more of a realistic rotation that you're going to see in harder content. Then we'll transform him. Of course, his transformation's an active skill, which is great. I mean, I know active skills conditions don't get changed in Dokkan, so it doesn't really matter. But the fact his is an active skill, huge. Because, of course, you can keep stacking him until your heart's content, until you're ready to. But then, of course, when he transforms, that's where the damage comes out. That's where he has the guaranteed crit against pure or hybrid Saiyan enemies. And I know that's quite specific, because a lot of the enemies in the game, of course, are just extreme class units. But, of course, we had one of the hardest hitting bosses in the entire game being Red Zone Broly. And then you just whip out this guy once you get his defense to like 600k, 500k. And then you're out here just critting Broly, doing ridiculous amounts of damage with built-in additionals and the fact you might have him, you know, rainbowed out or dupes in him while stacking attack every time he supers as well. So I was a big fan of that. But with the support, no Brutal Beatdown, 643k attacks, that were up to 531k defense with the support as well. As I said, man, he's just still so good. Like, again, he's not even a year old, so it makes sense, but he's so good. 6.8. 6.8. I wish extreme units would get a little bit more love in Dokkan, I really do. Because when they do, they get treated like this. LR Final Form Cooler, the EZA Transforming Cooler, Piccolo Jr. Some of the craziest units in the game. Like, just give a bit more of that love out. Give a bit more, because then you have like Super 17 and he's a bit meh. Like, we're yet to see him on Global, but he's a bit meh. Like, just, you know, share that love out to the other extreme units that are going to come out. Like, it's worth it, Dokkan, it's worth it. But next time he appears, we will transform him, and then, because we are facing a pure Saiyan enemy, Cooler's gonna go nuts. He's gonna go nuts. Alright, so now he's transformed. Again, he's still almost perfectly linked up with LR Final Form Cooler. Of course, his links don't change. So we are just missing Brutal Beatdown. He's now up to a 622k attack stat from stacking the entire time. Just under 600k defense. He now gets Ki plus 4, which he doesn't even really need, if we're being honest. But gets Ki plus 4 at the start of turn. Now stacks attack. Which, unfortunately, I'll be completely honest, you don't get to utilize the fact he stacks attack once he transforms, just because you do keep him untransformed for as long as possible to build up his attack until he's safe in red zone, which obviously makes sense. And you mainly only transform him into Final Form Cooler when you want that bit of extra damage and you're kind of going for the kill shot. So it's kind of a shame you don't get to utilize it as much. But now I've got the attack and defense plus 200%, 2 guaranteed additional attacks, each which have a 30% chance of becoming a super attack. He's got that built-in crit as well against pure hybrid Saiyans, which we are facing. And then not only that, he has a chance for a crit hit plus 10% per rainbow key sphere obtained as well. So even if you're not facing a pure hybrid Saiyan enemy, you get him a bunch of rainbow key spheres on top of the fact you may have dupes. He's got a big chance to crit. Right now, our crit is indeed guaranteed. And then, yeah, he's about to whip out a whole bunch of damage. So I wouldn't be surprised. We are getting support from Tech Gen Ember as well, so we're going to be getting a bit extra. I won't surprised if this part of the fight is over pretty quickly, I won't lie. 7.2. Again, like, because he stacks attack and he has built-in additionals, like, you can get his attacks some pretty crazy lengths, but because you don't usually have the time to do it, because you leave him untransformed in red zone for so long, you kind of miss out. You kind of miss out, which is a massive shame. Another additional super up to 7.5. Shame the other two didn't turn into additional supers, but still, it's a guaranteed crit. The amount of damage Cooler can do against pure hybrid Saiyan enemies is wild. Like, eventually when we do get, like, I know Broly's a big one, but eventually when we do get, like, a super version of, not even just red zone, but like a difficult content on, like, in the realms of red zone against superclass enemies, which, you know, primarily will be pure and hybrid Saiyans because of Goku, because of Vegeta, because of Gohan, you know, characters like that. When we eventually, and if we do eventually get one, EZA transforming Cooler is going to have so much more value than he already does. Like, he's already so good. But can you imagine that there's a red zone, like a super class version of like something like red zone, and of course you're facing like Goku. I mean, he has many forms. You can do like loads of red zone stages or blue zone stages around you know, around Goku. You know, can you imagine that came out? Like, this Cooler would decimate it. Like, yeah, you stack him up. Like, you wouldn't even need to stack him up as much as you do, say, against a Broly, right? Because, you know, the main reason why you do that is because Broly is AGL in the end. You know, you need a bit of extra padding because of the tightness of edge. You know, say the final phase against the Goku version wasn't AGL. You stack them up to like 400 or 500k, and then you're like, do you know what? I'm just going to go purely for the damage. This Cooler would be putting in work. Every time he supers a Goku or Vegeta in like on a red zone difficulty version, like a superclass, like red zone stage, he would be doing so much damage. Guaranteed crits, stacking the entire time, built-in additionals, so he's only getting stronger and stronger and stronger while he's critting on all of those super attacks as well. There would be no stopping him. There would be no stopping him. Obviously, if you transform him very quickly, you know, defensively he can be stopped. But still, you stack him up to his defense, you know, gets him to a point where he's like safe. He's unstoppable because of how much damage he's doing. Especially partnered up with the LR Final Form Cooler, who already is still, to this day, one of the biggest damage dealers. Like, he would generally wreak havoc in a superclass version of Red Zone. But we do have Brutal Beatdown active. Vegeta is pretty much about dead. We have just over 1 million attack stat from superior attacking only twice, might I add. So stacking up only twice. Of course, defense doesn't change. We're about to see what he can do with all links active. 200% lead. He's even going to get a Dokkan attack. So just pay attention to the number at the bottom. 7.7. Again, he's only super attacked twice. So he's only stacked up twice by 30%. So it's not a lot. Even with Brutal Beatdown. But a Dokkan attack against a Pure Saiyan enemy with a guaranteed crit, all links active, and again, rainbowed on a 200% lead. This is going to do a bunch of damage. As I said, you thought he's already, well, like, still one of the strongest EZAs in the game. Still very good. As I said, you drop a super class version of Red Zone or something similar where you're facing pure and hybrid Saiyans majority of the time. Yeah. You'll be seeing Cooler transformed a lot more often. And absolutely going nuts. But yeah, I'm happy I got him rainbowed out. I still use that 200 lead from time to time just because it is so good. And him fully rainbowed, even though I only needed one more dupe, definitely did not disappoint. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I'll see you in the next video, guys. And peace.